Hello and welcome to Music with Briley. Today we're revisiting Do It Just For Yourself. I've posted it to SoundCloud and had the opportunity to listen to it around town a bit on my phone speaker, for example, and noticed a few refinements that I can make. That's the purpose of this process of putting the track aside and listening to it. It's about like 9 things. There's just little details such as transitioning into this first hi-hat section, and the overall transitions between sections could use work. There's some, they're happening kind of, so to speak, organically. They're happening through the plugins. There's a little bit of a balance issue and the bell is too loud. There's a wood texture, there's some textures and ambiances that are adding, so to speak, interest in the track, but they're coming in a bit early, so it's sort of like spoiling it. And I like them to come in a little bit later. And the drum dynamics, I could just check them real quick to see if we could use any clipping or something. So let's go through this order. Transition into the first hi-hat section, and then overall transition work. This is a sub-item. Overall transition work, but in particular the hi-hats. So by transitions I would mean so this is interesting. I just upgraded to Bedwig 6. And it looks like it's kind of glitching out. Let me just close and reopen it. All right, let's see. It's still glitching. I can't select. Maybe this is a feature. Yeah, it's a feature, okay. I need the pencil tool. All right, somehow I'd gotten this tool, selected the audition tool. All right, no need. Okay, so there's an intro. Yes, so I don't have a clipper, at least, yeah, either on the kick and snare or the percussion bus. So there we'll need to getting to know soft tube a little bit, maybe. All right, so one quick win is just the bell is too loud. And maybe too bright. So we'll gain stage it with the filter plus. That's better. Now it doesn't have to be. So quiet. All right, so we'll call that one done. Let me just double check the kick pattern. Kick pattern. Hey Boygum, thanks for the follow. Yeah, the link should be popping up soon there. There you go. Hop in there, there's an invite for you. Okay, so yeah, one focus at a time. Let's see. So it's basically a repeating pattern. But without, oh, this is gonna be a bit difficult. I'd like for the kick to be a little bit syncopated with the I guess the velocity layer. So here, how can we do this? So let's get let's see if we can use some automation here. I would say, for example, MIDI velocity here. Just so it has some groove. And we'll loop it on some fraction of a bar. Let's map it here to the body. And make it monopolar, so it's only going to boost. Or let's do a count of 5/8 notes. All right. What texture? Drum Dynamics Clipper is still working on the clipper. Let's put the clipper toward the end and see what we're looking at. But once the whole, let's see, kick and snare section so far. Hey, River X, how you doing? Yep, drinking my coffee too. All right, so I'm gonna leave the percussion alone because it's pretty solid. It wasn't one of the problem areas. I fixed more or less the bell. It's still a bit bright. So the first time the hi-hats come in, let's take a look at this section here. It's not bad, it's subtle. Dabby the Hug Monster. I like the name. Hello, welcome, welcome. All right, let's check our transition into beat. It's kind of quiet. Okay, so I think what I'm relying on here is this texture effect. I also have another item to use a pitch shifting delay on the wood texture, which might it'll affect the transitions. Part of it is everything is cutting out here. So let's find this. So I have it on the foreground. This EFX motions. So if we come over here, we can do two things. So I've got this noise. This is the wooden floor texture. Yeah, River, how are you setting up those Discord? Are those automatic? I'm trying to set one of those up as well for my Discord. So it looks like I can do this level, the noise level, yeah. So we'll automate this in. And probably, around here we'd like it to be in, but at the beginning of this song, oh wait, that's the wrong one, that's the wrong one. I don't want the noise to be there, really, unless it's important for a transition. Might be, actually. At this point, I need it. I'm thinking instead of a tape echo, I'll use actually so tape echo, where we at? Tape echo, 1/16 dotted. I'd like to use a pitch shifting delay. 1/16 dotted might be okay. Oh, that's quite, let's see. And then I want it to raise up. It's not a tonal. I can't do this because it's on the foreground master bus. If it was just an effect layer. So okay, that's not a good idea. Okay, the other thing is this ambient. So I want to automate the dry wet. If that's not being modulated, I think it's being modulated by the more knob though. It's the macro 2 knob. The ARP can start low And across this song, basically transitioned pretty high. Okay, that's at least some timbral change. Good generic time of day. I can't tell if that's sarcasm. It's morning time in Finland. What time zone are you in, Hamalorian? All right, so we got a little bit of the slow reveal. Of the ambient effect. And this slow reveal of the motion textures, the wood texture, although that had to come in here because it's on the foreground bus and it's used in a transition. Virginia, all right. I have family in Culpeper, Virginia. Oh, what is going on? That's some drastic weather changes. I just realized that the mix is a little bit quiet. I could bring it up just slightly on stream. Wabbit, hunting the wabbit. I think the kick and, the snare and hat here are resonating. On a pretty close frequency. Oh. Their emote. Bitwig is all the talk. Bitwig is really cool. Let me fix that stream bot. Yeah, I don't know. I guess 6 emojis is too much. Maybe 5 is the limit. I'll check out Cloudbot real quick to see what that's about. Emote removes messages containing an excessive amount of emotes. 30-second punishment. Oh. Minimum. I think 10 or 15 emotes is fine. Or 20 even. Yeah, that's kind of, okay, I think I fixed it. Also, my emotes are, okay, not appearing from YouTube, unfortunately. They're supposed to be appearing on the screen. Yeah, Streamlabs. All right, now the drum dynamics seem a bit better. Let me just put another clipper at the drum bus to see what we're looking at. Now I think we're pretty good, but I can move this clipper to the hat. So drum dynamics are good. This is just my last refinements for this song. Now my bass, when I listened to it on a phone speaker, the bass wasn't really present. So I'm gonna try, let's see if we've got some saturation here. Yeah, we've got a bus force already. We've got saturation. Yeah, right there. And I have the presence boosted a bit. The only other thing I can think is like transient shaping. Maybe it's just not very punchy, not punching through. Bus transient, for example. Well, it's not exactly a bus, but oh, nice. Can't find Arturia SVG. Crap. All right, nice one, Arturia. You killed my project. All right, well, maybe I'll just listen to that later on the phone, and maybe I was just mistaken. But let me grab it up. Just for shared reference, I'm loading it up on SoundCloud so I can just preview it. Here's the link to the SoundCloud one. Got V6, yes. Slow bouncing problems. Yeah, I've noticed that too. Although Bitwig has just been pretty a slow bouncer in my case. Reinstall it. All right. Oh my gosh. It killed my audio. Let's see what we got. Honestly, the version 6 release feels less stable than the pre-releases, the beta releases. All right. But I think that was an Arturia thing there. Slow bouncing problems. What else we got? I mean, the bass is very audible on my headphones. In fact, it's pretty warm. Genre EDM. By EDM standards. Okay, so this transition's a bit weak. Let's 42 it. something like that. The only other thing I can think is that the filter cutoff baseline is too dark. Then I need to make sure we're not masking so we're going to check the melody. We're going to sidechain it against the melody, the foreground layer, master, post, everything. And we're just going to bump this up. So I think that's the main problem. It's just, I had saturation and everything on it, on the bass. But it was making up for a really low filter cutoff. And that's why it's not cutting through on small speakers. Let me double check that. We're summing, so mid-side, we're some of the side info too. It could be also phase issues when it sums to mono. It's just occurring to me. So I can check this on the master bus. Let me think. I haven't done this yet, but I have a soft tube width plugin, I think, that can do this. Widener. Mono bass below 160 hertz, I think that's suggested. So I think, yeah. I think that's probably the problem on mobile. It's essentially mono. I'm getting into soft tube. I think they're, I like them, they're in Sweden. I think they're pretty good. They make pretty good quality plugins. So yeah, I think my issue on the bass was a little bit of the saturation and cutoff, so not having the high frequencies, and mono summing, or phase cancellation. That's my barely educated guess. I think our transitions are good now too. Very cool. So I don't want to like belabor this track. It's already sort of been posted once. Now that I've got the cut off a little bit higher, I might not need so much saturation. Or probably very much overdrive and bass. But you can hear it's a bit thin. It gets this more knob, gives it more thickness, gives everything a little bit more. On the ARP, the ambience a bit much. Or let's just try 42. And it truly goes silent around 161. So when I bounced it, that was the other mistake I made in the previous bounce. I bounced it a little bit early and it kind of snips the tail of the track. Okay, so end of song cuts off and sure it goes to 0 when bouncing. So that's literally 161 where I've marked my end one. Somehow Bitwig was detecting and suggesting a little bit earlier. Honestly, I think this is a really good stopping point. You got to kind of decide. You got to know when to call it done. It's always there's something that you can change. Yeah, at some point it's just all right. So yeah, let's check out this slow bounce theory. Yeah, let's see how, because I haven't bounced since I've upgraded to 6. But now that I have done these dynamic checks, when I'm bouncing, I'm going to also keep track of my loudness. No, and yeah, exactly. I literally had that song in my head. Know when to walk away, know when to run. You never count your money while you're sitting at the table. There's plenty of time for counting when the dealing's done. All right, so we're aiming for minus 14 lefts. And that's just a YouTube target for the album target. I know it should be song specific, but also it's like listener specific. And if for listeners listening to a bunch of songs, even from different artists, it's annoying that the level jumps. And I'd like it to be, 5 to 10 loudness units, my loudness range, the dynamic range. But I think this track is maybe pretty tight. It should be under 10 though. I don't like the symphonic orchestra experience where you go like piano and then forte. It's like so disruptive. This should be background music. Export audio. It says the arrangement is that, but it's actually what was it again? I forgot. 161. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. 161. Export the audio, 161. Oh, cool. Yeah, do it just for yourself. This is right here. I made the refinements. Let's continue. Okay, exporting audio. So yeah, it's almost like playing the song in real time. 18, 1019. A little bit faster than real time, slightly faster. We should have a karaoke stream. Oh man. That would be fun. Okay, so yeah, the intro is a little bit quiet. So it's pushing the average down. Yeah, I've got my notes here. I've checked all the boxes. So yeah, I mean, this feels about par for the course for Bitwig export speed. It is slow, it's just, but I seem to recall it's just been slow. Like even, I don't know if this slowness was something new. I've been using the 6 beta only for about a month, and now the 6 final release. And so it's hard, my memory could be misleading me, but I believe it was, you know, when I was still on the 5.3 or whatever, you know, I would start the bounce and I would walk away. I'd get coffee or something, go walk around a little bit. This is something I normally wouldn't do on stream because particularly when I'm chasing this integrated LUFS value, I have to sometimes bounce a few times and it's not, you know, quite so interesting. It might be nice, you know, to see some of the fader moves. Oh, actually, there is one more thing I forgot to add to my checklist. It's the faders, master faders, that sounds bad. Master dynamics, fader, master fader. Control the dynamics with master fader. Basically, each section of this song, I want you to know, I want the listener to like feel when they enter in the louder part. Not just because it's a little bit faster, has a more high frequency energy, but also there should be like a perceptible volume difference, around 1 dB, nothing major. But I'm taking this from advice from a YouTube channel. YouTube. Let me find this. History. Sarah Carter, Simply Mixing. And one of the videos I was watching from Sarah Carter was mentioning, as part of the mix process, the fader management, which, by the way, I just published this. Sort of a mixing framework that I'm working on. Let me know what your thoughts are here. It's a mixing reference framework that's compiled. It's like it's like how I'm working, how I'm wanting to work, at least more intentionally. And it's like 3 phases, and one of them is this dynamics with the automation that's felt toward the end there. So this is an open source thing, but so what I can do on the master bus, I will add a volume, just a master volume automation, and credits due to master mixer volume, to Sarah Carter. I don't know the specific video. Let me see if I can find it. But Sarah Carter does this really good, very thorough videos mainly on mixing. That's their specialty. Mixes sound amateur 5 signs you're making a boring mix and how to fix it. I think this is the one. So yeah, check this out. Check out Sarah Carter's channel. Really good stuff. So what I'm going to do, and Sarah says that the volume automation it's sort of like be at particular, high energy. It should emphasize the high energy parts, which in my case, oh, look at this, mine's 13.4 levels. This is actually a pretty good result. It's easy to adjust, and it's really tight loudness range. So we're just going to make this adjustment in a minute. We'll A/B this, but I'm going to be adjusting the dynamics here, which is going to affect the loudness in any case. So if we look at the arrangement, it's actually sort of inverted. I have A, which you would think is like the verse, and then the B, like the chorus. Whoa, there's fighter jets flying overhead. They're scrambling. If I open the percussion, here we go. It's actually this is the higher energy part, these A sections. So what I would think I will do, and here in the B it gets more mellow. So yeah, this is what I'll do. I'll emphasize the mellow section of the B. And I'll make these hold. So it's the hold type automation. And then you just take it down by like, oh, wait. This needs to be the hold. How does this work? This is a new feature in Bitwig. It's so you can do nice, just by about 1 or 2 decibels. So you can do like step sequencing with your automation. It's really cool. So it's not only going to be just quiet because of the dynamics of the instrumentation. Two might have been a bit much. It's just a new technique I'm going to try, but I think it's a good idea. When I think if I have a better arrangement, it's more verse chorus sort of has the right ordering of the energy. I think I just did this one backward. And here I want something. I'm going to do a fade. I'm going to do a perhaps like a filter. Could use the clipper for sound design. This is not a good idea. It would just be, it's just a way of subtle distortion. Let's do a, let me see here. On my preamp, I could do a, fade there, or let me just use a filter. That's what I'm hearing. That's almost self-resonating. Ooh, yeah, that's major. Something like that. The cutoff frequency. And it'll return. Can't go too low though. Like 200 hertz is probably quite low. And at the same time, we can anticipate this to give it a little bit more something to work with. Let me double check. So we are. Cool, all right, cool. There's always something else. I just wanted this transition to be a little bit solid, more solid. I think that's good. It's a nice two-phase transition. We've got the hats kind of going out, holding some, holding the space here. And then at the same time, the texture coming on the foreground layer is sort of ramping in. And I can actually reinforce that also where I've done this previously, just like here. What do we do to 12? Yeah. Yeah, and that makes that kick like real punchy because it cuts out the sound. I like it, I like it. Okay, that's good, that's good. Always something else you can change. So I do remember we needed about a half decibel of gain. I try to move this increments of half decibel, that's about it. So I'm at 6.5. Just bring it up slightly. Less gain reduction by half decibel. And then we'll put this loudness meter up and we'll bounce again, the boring part. You know, we might already be at minus 14 less, but that's a very small sample. Oh yeah, I should have moved us over to B so we could have A-B'd it. Anyway, here we go. Saving, exporting. 161 is correct. And then do it just for yourself. Yes, we will override that. So the idea with this track is just a gentle and friendly reminder that we're all given gifts and talents in life, and only we can decide what those are. You know, only we are aware and sensitive to what gifts we've been given. But yeah, we should be, if possible, able to develop those. Yeah, I'm thinking about stopping using ozone also. Davy, what do you use? Because like I'm looking at it, I have good mastering EQ. Oh, look at that. And I can kind of manage myself. Impact, I'm not even really sure what it does. Imaging, I have a nice stereo imager now, and I even mono the bass. Clarity, this is like super dynamic. This clarity and the stabilizer. Maybe I don't need to worry so much about those kind of resonances. I think there's dynamic EQs I can use in any case, but it's pushing it toward this reference. The reference curve here is what it's doing. So might be useful, especially if I do custom reference curves. So I think, I don't know, I'm on the fence about that. And then the maximizer, you know, I don't really know how to use it that much and what the differences between all of these modes are. There's a lot of detail here. So I'm on the fence though also, and I think partially because they're like really pushing toward this, you know, AI mode for stuff. So I haven't upgraded the Neutron plugin, for example, because it's like mainly the features are around like stem separation and AI stuff, which I use some AI tools to help in the composition process. You could call them that, or they're just like music theory tools, like for writing chord progressions and generating melodies and stuff. So I'm not totally anti, but it's not like generative AI like the Suno or something like that. Yeah, ozone elements, okay. This is ozone advanced too, that might make a difference. Compressor, spectral shaper. Oh, I was just actually reading about this spectral panning. In any case, oh, I shouldn't be doing that in the middle of a bounce. Shoot. Might be a nice artifact around 3 minutes 45 seconds. There's an Easter egg where I added a spectral shaping plugin to the mix by accident or out of curiosity. But yeah, my loudness range here, you can see, is just really tight, under 5. I think it's just the compression that I've been using, the limiting. Also, you know, using the some of the lessons from clip to zero. So using, you know, my clipping at various levels, controlling dynamics at the track level, the bus level, and then the master level. Doesn't have to work so hard. But yeah, even by EDM standards, the bass is really heavy here, so I can see my mastering EQ dropping that way down. And then next time I will put more saturation on the instruments in general, be more attentive of that. So we'll get some high frequency, not aliasing, just over sampled saturation that will hopefully in the mids and highs. Targeted, probably EQ targeting. Now I'm checking out these soft tube plugins. So yeah, now, hey, we're at minus 13 LUFS. Interesting, interesting, those moves I made. So I went up, I went the wrong direction. Yo. Math is not my strong. That's just arithmetic. All right. File. One more time. Boink. Without the Easter egg. One more time. It's also a good sign when the, it's sort of how I take it as a good sign, when the bounce is like right on the target value or right on a half, like decibel thing. So I can just get it exactly there. Ozone 9 standard rest elements until 11. Okay. So what do you use for your mix bus and master bus? Do you have any recommendations that I could check out? I'll show you one I've been working with. It's relating to my this mix reference sheet. Let's see. And it's actually on offer right now. It's this bus processor. I'm going to start using this more heavily. I've sort of like discovered Softtube recently. I had sort of written them off, but now that I've been getting into more like analog modeling, you could say, plugins, like the Arturia collection, effects, Arturia effects. I took another look at Softtube. PSP, meld the complete bundle. All right, meld the productions. Incomplete, professional production, mixing and mastering. Wow, that's an epic. Okay, yeah, they got everything. Analyzers, dynamic EQ, auto pan. Wow, that is crazy. Cabinet simulators, distortion, drum leveler, Melda, EQ, yeah. Yeah, and I see several of these are like, like they're modeled after analog hardware, not all of them. And it looks like they also have some hardware, or is that just from gating to glitching? Ooh, rhythmizer. That looks cool. Repeating hits and scratching, what? But I have this in a shaper box, so yeah, I better not. Oh yeah, that 24 a month. Yeah, it looks kind of interesting, and it comes with this plugin that's like a meta plugin. It's like a, kind of like what Ozone's doing. You build patches essentially, and reuse them or share them. They have like public, some that are uploaded somehow to the community. Right now, Softtube has a spring sale, and on Plugin Boutique, There's several soft, because it's mixing month on Plugin Boutique. This is what I should like. This is worse for me than like doom scrolling the news every day. If I go to Plugin Boutique and audio plugin deals, oh man. But it's mixing month, and it really is a coincidence because this month, literally, I've had such good feedback about my mix and like ways to improve it, and I've done a deep dive into studying audio engineering foundations and mixing. I've put together this mixing framework, and then it's like literally this mix month. So I'm like, all right, I'm taking it seriously. And particularly, I've noticed, here's some plugin deals. You know how to find these anyway, but these aren't, I'm not getting any kickbacks or anything. But for example, harmonics is on offer right now. The tape simulation is on offer. Tape emulation, that's a nice one I've been using recently, putting tape on the master bus and pushing a little bit to get warmth. Clipper's on offer, but Clipper is cheaper on their plugin, on their official site. I think it was on sale on both of them. Sonable, SSL brand. Yeah, I keep seeing them having offers. Austria. Yeah, the Smart series looks kind of interesting too. It's sort of like this dynamic, approach to dynamic EQ and stuff like that. So now it's my 13.9, so I lost my nice whole number, round number thing. That's not a big deal. I think overall we're good. And we got a little bit of loudness range. So I'll take it. Probably because of this, because I have a longer tail. Yeah, I got so much stuff, and I'm only grabbing stuff on deals too. Yeah, some of it's just priced, so it's like more than $1 for some plugins, more than I'm paying for Bitwig. Gosh. But I did hop on the widener and the clipper because those are heavy hitters in this clip to zero approach, as well as in my sort of mixing reference. Let me run over this real quick because this is kind of interesting based on a bunch of some research. Essentially, clip to zero, I learned that our mixing mindset should be like up front and in early production decisions, like gain staging. Was the early one I learned. I was like, yeah, you got to kind of push these to a target level, especially for analog plugins. But in Clip to Zero, he's even suggesting that our production in early mix can be close to our target loudness up front before even we get into like the, you could say the mixing stage, like when we're still in production. And I like to have my faders at unity, but the grouping of tracks is also really important. And I'm learning different approaches to that, but certainly this one recent thing I've done is like putting my kick and snare in their own bus, and then overall having the percussion bus. Yeah, I have to lean on my meters a bit for some of this stuff. Some of it is just real hard to hear. And then mono checks, this is something I'm going to start integrating more into my process. At each stage, checking in mono, I think that was, like I mentioned, the problem that when I listen to my song on my phone, it's essentially coming out one speaker and then I lost low frequency. So yeah, gain staging. And I'm using tonal target curve here instead of particular references. So I use that tonal balance control, and I just check here, and I like it because you can make your own curve. So this is one isotope thing I think I will keep around. There's a couple other plugins like this. For example, let me find it real quick. What is the name? I keep forgetting the name. Studio. Mercurial Tones, Scepter, recently came out and lets you put reference curves in your songs, in your music too. So this is actually a good, like, lower cost alternative to isotope products. But tonal balance control is very focused. Scepter has actually a surprising amount of features, including like the ability to see before and after by feeding in stages. You can, I'm just learning to use it, so I can't really demo this in real time, but for example, you can check your spectrum versus like at a later stage versus an earlier stage. So you can see how your signal chain affects the spectrum. And I think this also applies to the scope, but I don't remember how to side chain it. I don't remember how to do this. I have to learn. So I just got this. But it's a very good all-in-one metering solution. I highly recommend it. So let me hop back over to this mix. I suppose I could let it, now I'm gonna go through with quiet. But here's the main thing I was reading, and this is coming from a textbook, like one of the most like definitive books on mixing, not necessarily mastering. It's this static mix. And this also comes from Sarah Carter, like saying, you know, probably others, you gotta have a really good static mix. And even before that, you know, good arrangement, good instrumentation, good orchestration, so that you're mixing, you know, things aren't colliding, stepping on each other's toes and stuff. But this is just my mixing framework. So some of this thought process has to happen even back in the golden brick section when you're making you're selecting your instruments. You know, you're not even really thinking in a timeline. Like I just work on the grid. I kind of start sketching out, hey, how do these timbres sound together? What chords am I going to use? You know, the golden brick before the arrangement. That's what one of the main takeaways from Clip Zero again is just mixing decisions happen like almost immediately. Almost every decision actually has implications for mixing. But this multi-phase mixing framework, these are sequential. It comes from a textbook. It's like the Mixing Engineer's Handbook. It's like a curve, like they have higher to lower impact, but you need to do them more or less sequentially, like a cascade. And these aren't necessarily set in stone. I'm going to work on some of these, but first you start with overall balance of the instruments, then you carve out some of the frequency ranges. And this is also cut boost first, boost second, so that's kind of subtractive EQ focused. And a lot of it is just frequency masking. So this is why it gets back to your arrangement and your instrumentation choices early on in the golden brick are going to affect your mix, how much energy you need to put into your mix, and being aware of this stuff really early on. And I've been getting into mid-side EQ also in terms of not only moving the frequencies around, but also the panorama. So like some instruments like to be up front and center, and some need to be moved around the stereo field or moved back in space. So the dimension and panorama. So yeah, this is my kind of framework. It's on my website. Feel free to share it or adapt it. And then this is sort of like what we mostly think of in terms of mixing. You sort of start with these static things, but then every one of these decisions needs to be evaluated across the song. At every stage and segment of the song, more or less. Sometimes you'll have a build-up or a transition, filter sweep like we put in there on the hi-hat. So this is like my cheat sheet to help me think and remember these concepts. So they're not muscle memory yet, but soon they will hopefully be. And I'll try to keep this updated as I incorporate new kind of techniques or practices. Thanks. Well, this is coming from a lot of just research, and this is stuff that's like kind of documented in many different places, but I kind of put it in a perspective based on this clip to zero that it's throughout the whole production process and not just a stage in production. That's the main thing. So trying to have this stuff in perspective, at least at checkpoints in the production process, such as your mono checks. Cool. All right, I'll spam it one more time in the chat. If you want to bookmark it, copy paste it, send it to a friend. Let me know if there's anything I've left out. I really do appreciate feedback, and a lot of this is coming from this whole mixing mindset. In fact, is mostly coming from feedback I received on the stream about ways I can improve, particularly my static mix, which was like really muddy and messy. Yeah, and a lot of these have disclosure. So I also, just as a quick aside, I think when we talk about concepts like music theory or mixing and mastering, a lot of times we have these like rules that people say, this is, you must do this, right? And none of this, but in my opinion, none of it is really rules. These are just kind of things, there's choices, and every one of these choices should have a rationale. So I use these disclosure triangles to sort of like explain the why you might want to think about this, about clipping peaks, and like why you wouldn't clip a pad, for example. Because I didn't mention it here, but clippers work on peaks. Like we get a gain reduction, instantaneous gain reduction, and our ears just perceive the distortion that the clipper adds as the transient. So you still have the transient feel. But if it's not a transient instrument, if it's like a pad or something like that, that distortion is actually unnatural. It sounds unnatural. It doesn't sound like a transient. It sounds like static or something. And that might be actually something that you like. So again, there's no rules. You might be wanting your pad to have a crunchy, grainy distortion, in which case you could add a clipper. So yeah, it's just food for thought. And giving you dimensions of thinking too, not just like my whole mixing thing was just like, oh yeah, I need an EQ curve and maybe put a reverb on that. But this is giving us a framework, like putting a whole process in place and thinking holistically. That's what I think is the value that this provides. So I better head out so I can eat some lunch. I'm gonna upload this latest bounce to SoundCloud. And then continue working on this album perhaps this afternoon. So I appreciate everybody's time. Dabby the Hug Monster, thanks for chatting. It's nice to hang out while we're working. The Hamalorian, it's good seeing you. River X, good seeing you. If you're still lurking there. Checking. So hopefully see everybody around. Hopefully you're able to find the time, make the time to work on the gifts you're given and develop those like little seeds, little plants, growing the garden of gifts and inviting others to share in your gifts. Man, I told Streamlabs to chill on the on the warnings. I'm not sure why it's doing that. Spamming symbols. Emotes are different than symbols. Caps, symbol protection. Oh, yeah. 25 something. There we go, there we go. Sorry, Dabby, sorry about that. I've adjusted it. I'm tweaking the bot. It's supposed to be a helper bot. but so far it's had more collateral damage. So I'll see you around. Have a great day. I'll let this play out actually with a visualization and the current version of the track.